Boom, and we're live, folks. Welcome once again to Friday Night BND Live, a group of high school friends attempts to play Dungeons and Dragons remotely by the internet.
Yeah.
With us, as always, we have Erin as Agnes the Bard, Tim as Twizzard the Wizard, Steven as Finric the Monk, and Chris as Paelias the Cleric. I am Shawn, your ever faithful and humble DM, and this is BND Live. Yes, that is a giant spider.
Yes, it
All right. Shall we start with a little recap, perhaps?
Hi, Joey.
Ah, ha.
Go for it.
That's right. My daughter Jillian is nearby. So yeah, you guys woke up, had a little Dalk breakfast, and talked of horses and houses with Dagus. oh, oh. Talked about horses and houses with Dagus. Clyde, Finric's Clydesdale, had been in the Ringing Bells stable for 21 days, which only ended up costing a gold, so that was good. There was also talk that Loman's Farm might be available to buy or rent, and you guys expressed interest in that. Dagus was going to look into that. Recently, Loman's daughter had moved up to Wesleyville after marrying, you know how it is. Then you all went over to the livery and talked to El Noth, and end up purchasing a lot of horses and horse-related products and a mule. So pony, Belleville, Twizzard bought the pony Belleville. Agnes bought the mule Soul. Finric, of course, already owned Clyde. Lily and Finestrel are going to be renting a pony and a riding horse, respectively. And then, after some negotiation, Paelias talked to Marion Zed, Silith, and ended up buying the horse that he had had a special bonding moment via the command spell way so long ago. And so now he is the proud owner of Laguna. Then there was a bunch of muffin, cheese, and sausage buying. Paelias gave some fool's gold to Anne to smooth things over. Not sure how that's going to work out. And then a nice, comfortable ride up to Bellwether Glen. Went to the market there, more muffins. Talked to Colty out at his farm with Cindy. Had some pie. A lot of baked goods in last week's episode. And he recommended that, yeah, no, they still exist. The hot springs still exist. There was a cave in. They probably haven't been used in over 100 years. But yeah, you go west and then look for a road to the south, maybe. Then you all went back to and that's not true. Agnes and Lily stayed at Agnes's in-laws, or relatives rather, and the others enjoyed some milk whiskey, which made them very tired. And that was at the Shepherd's Rest, and that is where we will pick things up this morning of Dillick. A very idyllic Dillick. The sun is shining. There's a cool breeze. And you folks are woken by the sound of the local roosters. What would you like to do?
Breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go downstairs to breakfast. Wait, were our rooms upstairs, or
Yeah.
were we like ground level?
No,
Yeah, let's go downstairs.
It's big enough to have a second floor, but there's just not many rooms. I think there's only
Okay.
three rooms. One might have been full. So you guys, I believe Paelias, Finric, and Twizzard were sharing a room. So, you know. Or no,
Yeah.
maybe you had three. Did you have all three? I think you had all three, because Twizzard and Mr. Bones was going to be in one. Finestel had her own, maybe.
Here's my roommate.
Some breakdown of rooms.
And then Agnes was over with the family. So yeah, I think it was Paelias and I bunking together. So I'm gonna wake Paelias up. He's not stirring. There he goes. Okay. Hey, Paelias.
He's awake.
Brecky?
Reggie.
All right.
Is this a farm town? Are we in a farm town? Will they have different things on the menu?
Yes. So this is
Hopefully,
primarily Bellwether Glen is primarily their local economy is based around sheep. But yeah, so for breakfast, what do they have? They have
They have haggis?
let me ask Schuster O'Leary. Yes, they have haggis. It's wonderful haggis.
Ooh, I'll have the haggis.
It's a perfect choice, Twizzard.
With eggs?
Nothing. Oh, with eggs too.
Oh yes, and one from Mr. Bones.
Kind of wish he wasn't in here, but sure, fine. I'll get you 2 orders of haggis and eggs. Agnes?
Mr. Bones, turn around.
Agnes isn't there. You're not there, Agnes. How are you talking to me? All right, so
Should we send these to Agnes and ask her to come over? Let's do it. I'm doing it. Hey, Agnes. Hey, we're having breakfast.
That's great.
We wake you up. Are you sick?
No, I just. My uncle snores. I didn't get a good rest.
Well, hopefully it'll be a quiet day.
There's the benefits of a long rest, but not a good rest.
All right. Well, we're having some haggis.
Oh, that's probably what they're having over here too.
All right. Well, talk soon.
Classic
Well,
haggis.
we'll see. We'll see in about a half hour.
Cool.
Can we transfer smell through the sending stone? Or
No,
it's
you
just
cannot. I don't know why you want to do that, but no. As you folks are sitting down to your haggis, Finestel comes down and joins you.
That's all good.
Paelias, are you still asleep? What's your deal? He's clearly still asleep.
What?
Wake
What?
that man up.
Are you asleep, Paelias, or did you wake up?
No, I'm up. We're eating. I'm eating breakfast.
All right. Excellent.
All right. So,
Brings you some more.
Finric.
Yes.
How'd you sleep?
Surprisingly well. I think I'm excited for the journey ahead. What we might find.
Excellent.
How did you sleep, Finric?
Oh, fine. Paelias is, his armor looks pretty sharp and tough, but he's pretty cuddly.
Indeed. Good to hear. It's good to be rested before an adventure.
Absolutely. Well, good talk.
Is she eating with us at the table?
Yeah, she's eating with you at the table.
What's she eat? The same food that we do?
She's having probably some fruit.
Sinister, are you a vegetarian?
No, but sometimes meat doesn't sit well with me, and so before a trip like this, I prefer to keep it light.
I see. Green?
What's that?
Nothing. Whoa.
Movie
All
reference.
right. So, I want to flash forward 20 minutes, and
I think that
All
sounds
right,
fair.
and I guess Lily and I arrive. I definitely look tired.
All right.
I have to go to the outhouse. 2 portions of haggis.
Okay. Yep. Show don't tell. No.
You guys.
oh, Agnes, are the McDevons over at the market yet? We're gonna pick up some yogurt.
Oh yes. They wake up very early, and they were out of the house, so I tried to get a couple extra. I got an extra hour of sleep. So.
I can agree. They definitely snore. Says Billy.
Yeah. I think I might need to. Oh, I know that. I think I might need to purchase or get some cotton for my ears next time.
There you go. Find some pussy willow fluffs to stick in your ears.
Yeah. Or just make some kind of like head wrap
There you go.
just to cover.
I get Mr. Bones to hold his fingers in your ears.
Yeah, we gotta remember that you gotta use that spell slot today at 4:30 if you want to keep him around.
Oh. Well, we want to keep him around. He's been worth his weight in gold so far. I mean, I get portions of breakfast.
He really doesn't weigh that much, though.
He
He's
doesn't
just
weigh that
bone.
much. You got his bones for free too. So.
He probably weighs mostly in armor.
I know. You outfitted him with really nice. Yeah, let's take a look at Mr. Bones' armor. It's pretty good. It's pretty good there. He's got a spear. Mr. Bones.
All right. So please remind me, did anyone get a flask of the specialty drink here last night?
No, that
Did
is
anyone
not.
have it in there?
That has not been purchased, but you could purchase that.
Okay. So I would like to purchase a flask of, I guess,
The
would it be
shepherd's
like
rest.
2 portions? Let's do 2 portions.
All right, so it's
Of
yeah, he's got a couple little glass bottles he could like stop her up. So the 2 portions and the glass bottles to keep them in would probably be, I don't know, call it 10 silver pieces.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you've got 2 doses of milk whiskey in your inventory now.
So we vaguely know where we're headed, right? We go west and then we go south when it looks like there's a road.
That is as much as Colty was able to tell you.
I think that's more than we need.
Colty, who's in his 70s, heard from his granddad where it was, but it's been a while. All right, you guys gonna head over to the market?
Ooh, farmer's market.
Pick up. What are you buying? Yogurt? You're buying yogurt? Is that what I heard?
I believe you heard correct.
Of course. Definitely need yogurt before a trip into the wild.
Good for your stomach, right?
Yeah, sure.
Is that white guy with the cape Mr. Bones?
Have you not seen Mr. Bones? Get a close
Yeah,
up
just
of-
remembering.
get a close
Oh,
up of
yeah,
Mr. Bones
wow.
there. Pretty good.
That's Mr. Bones.
Yeah, he's got armor. He's got a cape. Ah.
He'll do anything you want.
Well,
Anything.
technically, he'd do anything you say, Mr. Tulu.
Right?
But you give me 50 silver, he'll do anything you want.
But a steal.
No questions asked. Just clean them off.
Oh god. All
Right. So we're
yeah.
having, we should probably bring our mounts, or do we keep them here?
Is it far?
I feel like we should be able to walk there.
Well, so it was a little over 15 miles from Windbell to Bellwether Glen, and it's probably about the same. As far as you can tell from Colty, it's probably about the same then to where
Okay.
the...
So we can mounts.
15, 20 miles west, and then there's a road that goes south. And then we
That's as,
follow
much
up.
as, that's as much as you know. Yep.
All right. So then mounts it is.
Wait, aren't we in a town?
Yes, but we have to leave the town.
Oh,
So we're picking up our horses and ponies and mules.
I thought we were going to market.
Well, yes, but after that, we have to pick up all of the
Oh,
stuff
I
that we're
thought we were saying the market is 15 to 20 miles away.
No,
okay.
No, the market is right in
Wow.
the same town.
Around here. Okay.
It's very close
Okay. Yes.
by.
Yes. Hot springs. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
once
So
we
you
get there,
go
we
in
might-
there. There is Agnes's uncle or cousin.
uncle. Well, it's my mother's brother. So uncle.
All right, yeah. And yeah, what are you folks looking for?
Some yogurt.
Fresh sheep's yogurt coming right up. Now we do have some with blueberries mixed in. Would you like that or just plain?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Blueberries.
All right. So he gives you sort of a cold earthenware jar full of sheep's yogurt with blueberries.
Sweet.
Mm.
I think that's it for me because I already got the muesli yesterday.
I love it.
So healthy.
Mm. You have any honey?
Absolutely.
Oh shit!
I'll take some honey.
Wait, can I have some honey too?
Yeah.
Do you have enough honey for both of us?
Two. Yeah, of course.
2 honeys.
Two
Are they
jars
like little like honey straws?
No, they're like small small earthenware jars.
Are the jars shaped like bears?
They are not shaped like bears. No, that jarring technology has not progressed that far yet.
Are they shaped like sheep?
Not yet, but Twizzard could conjure one shaped like a sheep, but it would only last an hour.
Gotcha.
And it would glow with
He does pottery that could probably make nice shaped pieces, but you
gotta
probably
find
have to
you
pay.
gotta find a glass blower. If you go to like a bigger city, you could find a glass blower to make it.
Oh, we could fill it with colored sand,
Guys, new mission.
different angles with all the different layers of colored sand.
Scrap saving the moon. Let's just go get some glass in the shape of sheep.
To the glass blowers.
Bill, so when we get our boat,
Mm.
There you go. There you go. Priorities.
Yeah, it's good to have. It's good to have goals, you know?
universities.
You see Finestel picking out some other fruits and some vegetables, some root vegetables as well. Lily picks out some of her favorite things, just as some snacks on the road. You also have your rations or rations. Do we say rations or rations in this part of the country? Probably.
I say rations.
Yeah, let's go with the rations. I think that. Anything else would be irrational. Classic.
Give yourself inspiration for that,
Oh.
DM.
Can Mr. Bones laugh?
Mr. Bones could go like, yeah, he could do a little,
His bones jiggle.
yeah, a little jiggling bones. All right, so you guys, I think you guys are prepared to head out if there's nothing else on your list.
So all the food supplies we bought are yogurt and honey.
I'm right.
No, we bought some like
You've still got the
Hard
cheese and the hard sausage, or the hard
Right,
cheese and the
right.
sausage from the other day.
Oh, I didn't pay any money for honey because I wasn't paying attention. How much do I owe?
Oh, I would say the 2 honeys and the yogurt and the earthenware jars, probably like a couple silver.
Holy cow! All right.
Okay. I got it.
Oh, all right. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, basically adventurers of your caliber spend gold on magical items and weapons, and like that's it. Food is pretty much not a problem, unless you get robbed and go completely penniless. That would never
Or
happen.
lose it all gambling.
All right, so you guys are gonna go out onto the road. What order are you riding in? Twizzard and Mr. Bones are on the same pony. Is that true?
Yes. Orc Slayer. That's my pony's name. by
he's
the way.
renamed to Orc Slayer.
Renamed to Orc Slayer.
The pony or bone?
The pony. It's Mr. Bones and Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones, Mr. Twizzard, and Orc Slayer the pony.
We should have a fast horse leading the pack.
Oh, so yours maybe,
I don't think that's mine.
or Finestrel's?
We don't want her to get away.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I get
Yeah.
the rear if we want a fast horse on both sides.
Well, I feel like the ponies and the mules are kind of going to be towards the middle and back.
Yeah, so Paelias has a riding horse. Finn also sprung and rented a riding horse. Lily's on a pony. Twizzard's on a pony. Agnes is on a mule. And Finric is on a Clydesdale warhorse.
Nice.
Classic. All right, who's in the lead then? I'm
Come on,
sorry.
bud.
Now, can you please tell me how Finric gets onto the warhouse? I mean, it's a Clydesdale, and he is a halfling.
Mr.
How does
Benjamin.
this work?
I have a +7 on acrobatics.
Oh,
Yeah, he is very spry.
Is a +7 on acrobatics. That is good enough answer to me. If you'd like, Finric, you can describe how you get on your warhorse every morning.
Casually.
it's not like you swing your leg over. It's more like you have to do a back handspring and a flip.
Piece of cake.
Amazing.
And then to dismount, it's like you're on the either the horse in in gymnastics, or maybe like the balance beam.
Mhm.
But I feel like the horse would be more appropriate. You do some of those like leg swings side to side.
Yeah. In truth, Clyde can kneel, so that helps.
Ooh. Well trained.
There we are.
All right.
Very nice.
So you folks head out. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. You get on the road probably around 9:30, and you start making your way west along the road. Now this road. So the main road from Windbell to Wesleyville splits. You guys headed west, which intercepts with Bellwether Glen, and that road then continues along. Any particular things you'd like to do as you ride along?
Maybe just every once in a while take an inventory of landscapes to see if there's anything that sticks out.
Sure. Yeah, let's say for every hour we'll do a perception.
Okay.
I'd also know your
I
passive
can-
perception, but let's do an active one. Yeah. Why don't you? Agnes is looking out. Finn's probably looking out too. Why don't you guys roll perception? Finn is not noticing anything. She's definitely preoccupied.
17 plus 7, 24.
All right.
Fine.
You are, after the first hour of riding, you are absolutely sure that you have not missed any roads to the south, north, or otherwise.
Okay. And I'm tired. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep this up. I might have to play myself a song of rest.
Yeah, I mean, you guys could always stop for a short rest or something as well.
I'm gonna pull my pony up next to Finestral.
Chop, 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 chop,
I
chop,
pull
chop.
up and I go, so what's the first thing you're gonna do once you get to the
That's
hot
fine.
springs?
You asked that to Finestel?
Yeah,
All right.
because I know what I'm doing.
Cannonball.
I'm gonna show her the T-Wizard Cannonball.
I mean, I assume the first thing we need to do is figure out a way past the cave-in if it really is caved in. Do you mean after we've found the springs themselves?
We know how to clear any debris. Possibly cause more. But we could definitely clear that initial pile of debris, I'm sure.
Well, that sounds very useful, Twizzard. I mean,
Yes,
I
yes.
hope to find answers to some of my questions.
Like,
Is it hot water?
why?
Well, no, I've been doing a lot of research as I mean, you're a man of the arcane as well, correct?
You said it.
I've been researching a group called the Beams of the Moon. Have you heard of them?
Can't say I have. Not in any of my comic books.
Is that a special wizard
I
book?
mean wizard scrolls. Not in any of my wizard scrolls.
Well, I did some research at the Great Library of Parmacoa, and I found mention of a goddess that I'd never heard of before. And apparently her followers are called the Beams of the Moon.
What's the goddess's name?
Saloon.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
You have?
Yep.
Fascinating. What do you know of her?
Do I want to be saying any of this to her?
You can sending stone
Yeah, I'm
to
saying-
Yeah, Finric is riding close. Agnes, you could probably over here as well.
All right, I'm gonna sending stone. This crazy elf's asking about Saloon. What do I want to tell her?
Mr. Paelias has mentioned her in one of his I guess, readings at universities or libraries or whatever. Ask Paelias what he knows.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
is your question you want to know, or is your question what do we want to share?
You had heard of it prior to the rest of us, so Mr. Twizzard is just going to push that off on what you would have known prior to anything else we figured.
It's more like, how do I answer this? What do I want?
Yeah.
To know?
Yeah, well, like what do we like? Who is this woman, and why are we sharing information with her?
I could just trot away, or have Mr. Bones come fall off the horse and I have to say, oh, I'm get him.
Well,
You can just
let's recap. Who is this woman, and why are we sharing information with her?
It's Sinistral.
Yeah, isn't she sinister? Like, isn't that our term for evil?
Yeah, she shot magic bolts at me.
Her name is Finestel.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
Twizzard calls her.
Twizzard has
Sin-
lovingly dubbed her Sinister.
I know her name.
So we should say she's the goddess of the moon. That's what you know.
Yeah, I've heard of the Loon. She's the goddess of the moon.
Whatever that is.
I don't know what
Well,
moon
exactly.
is,
I
but
That's
turn around to Mr. Bones.
That's
Go.
exactly it. The thought that there could have been, a physical embodiment of a goddess, a celestial body, in our skies, affecting our world. It's fascinating to me. Isn't that fascinating to you as well?
You think it's amazing that there's someone that cool walking around? I mean, look at me. I'm not a god, but I am that cool. Riding a pony.
Yes, with your skeleton
Skeleton
friend.
behind me.
I don't know. I just
Watch this. I rear my horse.
give me an animal handling check.
I feel like Mr. Bones is falling off.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh,
I'm
he's
handling plus 0.
what did you roll?
16.
Okay, so you successfully rear up, but having not been paying attention / given the command to hold on tightly, Mr. Bones falls off and lands in the dust behind you. Your skeleton friend has fallen.
I think the stable boy buttered my saddle again. Hold on, I gotta go get him.
Buttered my saddle.
Mr. Bones climbs back on.
All right.
Regardless, yes. We rumor of the pyramid in Windbell had reached Wesleyville just as I had uncovered references to a strange occurrence at Fenton Springs, and well, they both were in the same direction, and so here I am. And then I ran into you folks and Elsa, who vouched for you, although I have a strange feeling about her as well.
Yeah, it's cool. We just gotta get to know her. We're like this now.
Wow.
There's no shop there.
She is a very powerful in the arcane arts. Are you aware of that?
She's got a cute cat.
What did
I
you
like
say?
that. She's got a cute cat.
A cute cat. I heard something else.
Oh. Well, yeah, she's pretty good at magic. And I would know.
Of course you would, Twizzard, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so Agnes, why don't you give me a perception check for the next? And if anyone wants to help you, who's proficient in perception, you could have advantage.
15 plus 7, 22.
All right. So you guys, the mule's top speed, which is basically the limiting factor here, is 4 miles per hour. So you've sort of gone.
What,
you
not
went
the
first
pony?
forward. What's that? Pony and mule
Not the
are. I think the pony and mule are tied actually. Let's see.
Yeah.
I got 2 people on mine.
Yeah, no, pony, mule, and draft horse actually are all 4 miles. The riding horse and the war horse are 6 miles per hour. But yeah, so you guys are you're in the second set of 4 miles. Anything else going on, or should we?
I think that I might. No, I just need to stay focused on my surroundings. I'm trying to be as alert as possible, even though I'm still somewhat tired.
Understood.
So I can't be distracted by anything else, otherwise I will fall asleep. It's like, stay awake.
So let's say it's around noon. You guys have gone a little over 8 miles, and Lily mentions, will we be stopping for lunch at some point?
And I think some people might need to use the latrine, or a hole in the ground, as it were.
Tell me, Twizzard, does your Mr. Bones use the has to relieve his bones at all?
You know, I'm really not sure.
I'm not that familiar with necromancy.
I can tell him to do that, and we'll see what he does. I don't know what's going to happen.
There's a lot of poop talk in this episode.
This is the first poop talk.
No. Twizzard had to take a dump in the beginning.
That's 2 portions of haggis.
Oh, right, you're right. How could I have forgotten?
Oh. Yes, I don't know what Mr. Bones would do. If I had to guess, maybe like a cloud of dust would come out or something.
I think he would just go through the motion.
Yeah, if you order him to relieve himself, he will just sort of stand off to the side and hold nothing.
Look up.
And yeah.
Look down.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Bones, you stay with Orcslayer.
All right. So are you guys breaking for lunch then?
Sure. Are there any like trees around we could get a little shade, tie the
Yeah, absolutely.
horses
Yeah, there's definitely it's not like a huge forest or anything, but there are trees around the road, and yeah, you could definitely find some shade. Stretch out on the ground. Let's see. Paelias, as you're sitting down, you notice an anthill right beneath you, and you move over.
No.
You don't want ants in the armor. You don't want that.
Ants in the
That's not good. Yeah, you guys are enjoying whatever you'd like to have for lunch.
Ooh, if we ate animal crackers, we could talk to those ants.
Are they animals? I guess so. They're kind of insects, but
Yeah, let's
I don't know if
see.
you want-
Saying speak with animals, but for ants. Not sure how that. I think they have to have a certain amount of intelligence. Let me see here.
Maybe we could talk to them as a whole hive.
The knowledge and awareness of many beasts. So it's beasts, only beasts.
Okay.
Is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived within the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you, at the DM's discretion.
So maybe we can ask some birds if they've seen the hot springs, or we could send a dragon out.
What's the speed?
You want to go?
now I sending
Was that-
stone everyone that Mr. Twizzard should not be using his familiar with Finestrel around because he already spied on her and she's going to know it immediately. So if we're going to use a familiar, it's got to be Paelias' dragon.
It could change color though.
It is a chameleon.
Oh, I thought you were
probably.
going to put the dragon amulet on originally at first.
We probably don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
That would be a bold move.
In fact, did we?
So why don't we dress this one?
We leave them? We
Did we
always have
leave?
everything.
No. But did we leave any of the amulets with Elsa?
I don't think so.
We might try and destroy them. We would do that.
Because she knows we have the dragon amulet.
She knows
never
that you
gave it to
have.
her.
She knows that you have 3 of the 5 now instead of 2, but you did not leave
Right.
any with her. No.
Okay, just making sure.
Now, what Finn knows, you don't know.
Right. She might have one. For all we know. But then again, we also thought that Finric had the flying one, and we were wrong. So, assumptions are just that.
You know what they say about assumptions? They make an ass out of you
Yep.
and umption.
Oh,
That's 2.
No, they're the mother of all bad decisions. All right. Can I play let's see here. I probably have my tin whistle. Can I play a song and try to watch Finestrel, see how she behaved?
You want to play a song
Kinda
and
make-
watch Finestel?
Like, I want to watch and see what she's doing, like keeping her on the at the corner of my eye.
Sure.
But I want to make it as though I'm busying myself with other things, not staring directly at her.
Oh, like a wire.
Yeah. I think you could pull that off. Sure. What is your song about?
It's probably just like a song of rest, just a calming song that sounds maybe like birds. Maybe I'm inspired by some of the birds in the area.
Sure. So instrumental, in other words.
Oh yeah. Well, if it's the tin whistle, I can't sing. And
Oh, tin whistle. Yes. Yeah.
I probably didn't bring my lute. If I'm traveling, it's not a lute time. Lute time is really just inside of the
Fair enough.
whatever.
And you didn't bring your newly reacquired bagpipes from the MacDevons?
Well, I don't think they would be appropriate right now. They're pretty loud. They're like wartime kind of like inspiration.
Throw stealth out the window if you're playing the bagpipes. Give me a performance check for your tin whistle bird restful song.
There's only one volume for bagpipes. 6 plus 7, 13.
Wow, 7. Awesome.
You know.
Yeah,
13.
No, it's very pleasant. You folks are snacking, resting. You're not like riding hard, but riding a horse for 2 hours is takes probably uses some muscles you haven't used in a while. And but yeah, it's a nice relaxing song.
Walking saddle sore.
Agnes, give me a perception check for what you want to notice for Finn.
22.
Yeah, so as you play,
Performance are really high.
in the sort of pretense of looking around at people and seeing how they're enjoying the song, you see Finn. She appears to be lost in thought. She's definitely, contemplating what lies ahead. Maybe she's wrestling with the decision. You can't quite tell, just from regarding her outside demeanor, but she's definitely thinking about something.
All right. I don't know if I should approach her. So I'll finish up my song and I'll sending stone people. Should I engage in conversation with Finestrel, or should I just let it go?
We came here to find stuff out, right?
All right. So I will start talking to Finestrel since I seem to be pretty close to her, and I'll say, I thought I heard you mention something about a moon. What is a moon?
Well, as far as I can tell, as the sun is in the sky, so too there used to be a moon in the night. And in fact, visible during the day at some points, although the books were a little... Honestly, there wasn't much about this, and it was very strange, because I combed the entire library, and I was only able to find one volume that spoke of her at all. It's as if someone or some group of people had culled all knowledge of this. I have, in my travels since, found some people, like Elsa, who have heard of Saloon, but most people, if they've heard anything, it's, as if from a fairy story. And in fact, I have found a few fairy stories. Now, I am aware of the arcane nature. I know that the Fae does exist, and that, honestly, over the years, it would seem that, Saloon has sort of taken on that mystique with common folk.
Well, I happen to have a fairy tale book that I got, back in Windbill at at the bookstore. Would you like to take a look at it and see if you can find any information in there that could maybe refer to this moon goddess?
Absolutely. Do you have it with you?
Lily! I think Lily has it. I might have it. Lily borrowed it, but
oh.
I probably have it.
Yes, I think I have it in my pack here. So she looks through her pack and pulls out the book of fairy stories that you'd bought at Peander's Books all that time ago. May I hold on to it for a while?
Sure, but I would like it back at some point. I get a lot of my ideas for songs from it.
Of course. Were you expecting she would read it right now?
Well, I expected that if we were just resting, that she could.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. You guys are just chilling. Let's see. Where did I put that? So she looks at it and so there's the fairy stories. It as the story of the moon granting a wish to a young child, and as Finn reads through it, she's like, I read a very similar tale, although instead of a young child, it was an older man whose wife had died. But a lot of the elements are the same. This is fascinating. It would appear that perhaps the Saloon had followers, much as, well, Paelias, you yourself are a cleric, if I'm not mistaken.
I am.
I believe Saloon had her own clerics. Now, this would have been thousands of years ago, though.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Have you, by any chance, communed with your god to find out more information about Saloon?
No, I haven't, but I recently learned the communing field. I feel like I probably should have known that before, but I recently learned how to commune, so I could do that, and it might be useful to get some more information.
I mean, I don't mean to pressure you. I don't mean to impugn on a cleric and their god's relationship.
No, it's a good idea. I'll need some space. Give me a good 5 feet here.
Lily scoots away from you.
All right, here goes nothing.
Is it cool if I have some muesli?
You can have whatever you want. It's in your pack.
What timing?
Cool.
Oh wait, is that the question you want to ask to the god?
Oh, that's
no.
That's what you're
What
gonna.
is this
That's
one
what you're gonna ask Mistra.
It's called commune.
Augmery or augury.
Augury?
Augury, eh?
Drilling holes.
Is that a spell slot or is that like a cantrip?
It's a spell
It is a
slot.
spell.
Oh.
I think it's a second level.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
ritual?
Is it difficult?
No, ritual. Like, can you spend 10 minutes at it? No.
is not
Okay.
Wait, no,
You
no,
would-
it's ritual. I'm sorry. It is ritual.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
spend 10.
Yeah, spend 10 minutes.
What does that mean?
Means you don't have to expend a spell slot. You just have to take more time, and we have the time. So go ahead and use it without using a spell slot.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I'm gonna need my divining tool.
Yeah. What's your divining tool?
It's actually funny enough. It's Mr. Bone's femur. So I'm gonna need that femur.
His femur or the one we picked up from the
Because those are different.
He has 2 femurs.
femurs
I
when
think
it comes to
he has
Mr. Bone.
3 femurs, is what they're trying to tell you.
yeah.
No, it needs to come from the femur of his current body.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just how the gods want it.
Can we separate Mr. Bones' bones?
Just order him to.
Your femur.
Mr. Bones, swap out your spare femur with one of your real femurs and give that to Paelias.
Yeah.
So wait, what is the spare femur from?
So he wanted to go into the pyramid just to get a bone, so he could say, "I have a bone to pick with you." So he went
I
around
don't think
with.
that was the whole reason.
And it just
It sounds like
happened
the whole
to be
reason.
the exact bone I needed.
He found a bone.
We took a
It was
souvenir.
a femur, and
Wow.
then he went and got other bones from Fight Night.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It was the whole skeleton.
And Mr. Bones has the femur.
Oh, he has
Well,
yes, the femur.
I might have it, or I don't know if Mr. Bones has it.
Toss
Oh
it
no
to
no
him?
no!
But we've got it.
Yeah. So Twizzard
Mr. Twizzard has the femur.
Twizzard tosses Mr. Bones the femur and tells him to swap it out for one of his own.
Mhm.
And Mr. Bones understands this command, and he looks down and he grabs his femur from his right leg and rips it away. And there's sort of this like brief flash of green arcane energy, and then he immediately falls over to the side. And while he's on the ground, he's like trying to put the other one back in, but it is not making connection.
No!
But meanwhile, the
Short and
femur.
wide.
Meanwhile, the femur that he ripped out is on the ground near you, Paelias.
But I can give it back after I'm done. I'm not going to use it up. He'll get
Oh.
it back.
I didn't know if it would be used.
No, I think he gets it back. I don't need to like burn it or anything.
Correct. That's
I
good.
I just need it as part of my divining tool. So I'll take the femur and I'll stick it in the sand in front of me or
Okay.
ground, whatever we're sitting on.
Yeah, it's like loose packed grassy dirt.
Where does it say that I can do this? I can just like prep it instead of actually.
So it has a little R symbol near it, and so some
Right.
spells can be cast as rituals, which, as Erin said, so you take 10 minutes plus the casting time. So in this case, it'd be 11 minutes total, but it doesn't
Right.
use a spell slot. And these are
Oh, cool.
usually spells like identify, augury, things that you wouldn't, you would be
Okay.
doing not
So-
in the heat of battle. So they sort of allow.
I've got some C's next to some other ones. What does that mean?
C is concentration. You can only have one
Oh.
concentration spell active at a time. And if you
Got
get
it. Okay.
damaged, you need to roll a constitution save
Right.
to see if you can keep concentration.
All right, cool.
Actually,
This is
I
my
guess
only
it's just
R.
a save. It's a concentration save, sorry. But yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's do this. So I'll close my eyes and I'll say humana, 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 augury. And then I'll commune.
Amazing. Finestel is not sure what you should think. So you're entreating your entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes.
Oh. Yeah, what was my question, guys? So I need to ask something about Saloon. So more information about Saloon.
Well,
So
yes or no question, really.
that's all I get. Yes or no?
Shouldn't you? So it's almost like
How about should Saloon be reincarnated back into her rightful place?
Good question.
Yeah, I think the spell you really want is commune. You can ask 3 questions, anything, but it's a 5th level.
Oh, but I'll do this for now.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
I don't think I have all the spells yet.
No, you do not. No,
Right.
you are
By the
in
way-
fact only. Well, are you guys 5th or 6th?
we're sick.
Yeah,
We're
you're-
sick.
Yeah, but the spells lag behind.
Huh.
The spell slots.
Yeah, so I only have 3rd level spells.
Yeah, that sounds.
If
right.
anyone else wants muesli, by the way, it's pretty good. And you can have it with the yogurt. If you have it with the yogurt, you should also have it with the honey, because you might have noticed it's a little warm today, and I don't know that this was like the freshest sheep, but
Luckily, I'm in my commuting zone.
It's gonna
So
end soon, so let's finish it up.
I
yeah,
can't.
you know, it's a little. But with the honey, you don't so much notice.
I bet the honey.
I'm in my communing zone of silence right now, so I don't hear any of this.
All right, fair enough. So your question, say it again. Should we? attempt to
Should
bring...
Saloon be reincarnated to take her rightful place as the goddess of the moon?
Yeah, so you're gonna get you're gonna get wheel and woe back.
Both?
Good and bad results.
All right. So well, the god got back to me, and basically he said outlook not so good.
Is this a magic 8-ball spell that you've got?
Oh
So
my god.
so yeah, proceed with caution is the feeling I got here.
Yeah, so just to remind you, your god is Mistra, and she, her pronouns are she, her.
She, her, sure. She, her. Mistra says she's she thinks that it could be good, it could be bad, and tough call really. That was useful communing.
Okay.
Your method of communing is fascinating, Paelias.
Oh, thanks. I bowl the same way.
And now, what will you do with this bone you have taken from your comrade?
Oh yeah, I'm good at this. I'll need it back for another commune, but you can have it back here.
Maybe a different bone might help next time.
So Mr. Bones takes the femur, and when he starts to put that one back, there's a bright flash of green arcane energy, and it sockets back in, and he's able to stand back up.
He needs his true bones.
True bones.
But if anyone wants the spare femur, you can have it.
Yeah,
that's
Mr. Bones
another
is,
arcane energy.
he's still holding the spare femur, but
Maybe you should ask for it back.
Mr. Bones, I would like that back, please.
he tosses it to you.
All right. In my bag.
So I'll ask Finestrel, so what do you think the good and bad might mean for bringing this goddess back?
Well, I don't pretend to understand the wills of gods and goddesses, but I suspect that were one to return to this plane, or at least one's influence to return to this plane, there would be forces that would benefit and forces that would fight against it, I'm sure.
Do you think that we should be for it or against it then? Like, do you think that we would see her return as a good thing or a bad thing?
Pretty much just what I asked.
I
No,
am.
no, no. I'm asking Finestrel though, if saloons return for us.
If the god doesn't know, is Finestrel gonna?
Well, but I'm asking her opinion.
I am merely after knowledge. I doubt the opportunity for such as ourselves to help or hurt a goddess would ever present itself.
Okay.
Theoretically.
What's that?
What do you think we might find? Go ahead.
Theoretically?
Yeah.
If I had the opportunity to bring a goddess back, I imagine that would be me in her good graces, so I would probably be for it.
Are you not in the good graces of a god right now?
There's much that could be discussed there, but shouldn't we get back on the road?
Ooh, I smell more.
Well, I, for one, am not one for really believing in gods. I just, sing about them. So there's so many. How do they all react with each other? It's too much. But if I could get into the good graces of a god, maybe I could become a better bard, or maybe I could know more, about different things that other people don't know about, and I can share it in my songs.
There are certainly entities that dwell on other planes that do have influence in ours.
I'm guessing that's something that, people who have arcane knowledge would know more about. I'm just a bard.
Well, you have arcane knowledge that stems from your charisma, from your talent. And Twizzard, of course, has studied long and hard, and my Paelias communes with his god. We all have our ways.
You didn't mention me.
I
Most of
have
us
to admit,
are.
I have not met many monks in my travels. Only a few, and I have not gotten to know them. Are you possessed of arcane ability, Finric?
Well, my stomach's a bit upset, but I think that's the yogurt.
Perhaps stop eating it then, Finric.
Right? It's milk for everyone, man.
It's like I've spent 3 silver on this. I'm gonna get my 3 silvers worth out of this yogurt, whether it kills me.
You mixing it with everything.
I eat my feelings, and it's been a rough day.
Finestro, what's your profession? Are you a bard? Are you a what is your deal?
I'm a gatherer of
Wizard of
knowledge,
the night.
Paelias. A gatherer of
How
knowledge.
how do you gather such knowledge? Do you
He's
read
a
about it?
liberal arts major.
How do I gather knowledge, Paelias?
Yeah. Do you experience it in the world? Do you read about it? What do you do?
Oh, yes. I mean, I experience in the world. I seek out
Mhm.
areas of great knowledge and
Mhm.
read as much as I can and talk to who I can.
Mhm.
You must.
Do you have the ability to do magic?
Well, of course. You've seen me do magic.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, she shot at me.
Well,
Okay.
yes, I suppose I did.
His eyes might have been glowing at that point. I don't know how much he saw.
Where did you learn this magic? Did you learn it from a book, or did you have a schooling of some sort?
Schooling of some sort. Yes. Yes.
I see. What school?
I don't think you'd know it.
I've been around.
Have you?
I've traveled a great deal.
Was it Van Holten?
It was not. Though I have heard of such a place.
Quite a useful school that was.
Really, it doesn't matter. Just in my quest for knowledge, I've bonded and made use of those more powerful than I am.
Okay.
You really don't trust us, do you?
Oh, Finric.
Oh, Finestra.
I really think we should be getting back to the road. That is.
Mm-hmm.
To the road.
Hmm. We must be significantly closer.
Yeah. So you guys have gone a little over 8 miles. So yeah. So you pack up. Paelias, you do find some ants in your cape, but you shake them out.
Damn it!
Finric, are you keeping your yogurt or are you leaving it here?
I've eaten the yogurt.
Fair enough. All right, so you guys jump back on your various
Mounts.
Yes, thank you. Finric, are you still in the lead with Finn?
I don't think I should be first.
All right, maybe
I'll go first.
Agnes and Finn are in the lead. What's that, Paelias?
I'll move up. I'll go first.
Okay. All right. Finric tries to stay downwind of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Solid strategy.
All right. Yeah. So, who's rolling perception for the next 4 miles?
Not me, no 0.
It probably should be me because I'm +7.
Yeah, you can even be a Paelias. So do you have advantage or do you have proficiency in perception?
I don't think so.
Is your circle filled in?
Perception. My circle is filled in. I'm +5.
All right. So Agnes, you can have.
No need. 18 + 7, so 25.
Goodness.
I think it's good enough.
All right. You proceed. Another 4 miles. So let's see. So it's noon. You probably spent an hour. So it's about 2 p.m. now, and still no sign. The road has meandered slightly, but it's kept pretty much cutting straight west across the countryside. Some ups and downs. At one point off in the distance, you thought you might see a flock of sheep with one of the shepherds who's gone farther afield, but you're can't be 100% sure. But yeah, a little more forest growth to the south than what you've been previously riding through. But other than that, nothing.
I'm gonna take out my my magic compass and I'm gonna check it, and it does indeed point to Mr. Twizzard's ass.
Oh, that magic compass. Because you guys do have two right now, right?
Yes, but I don't have that one. I don't know who has that one.
Very useful.
I have the one that points to his ass.
Hey, if Mr. Bones always has to do what I say, can I say, hey, Mr. Bones, show us where the hot springs are?
So he tries to do it to the best of his abilities.
What he doesn't have knowledge that you don't know.
Point in the direction of the hot springs.
Mr. Bones, can you please point the direction of the hot springs?
Okay, hold on a second.
Like, I'm assuming he's pretty ancient, right? If he was in that tomb, maybe he knows about the hot springs.
So you ask him to point to the hot springs?
Yes.
If he knows where it is. I mean...
What exactly do you say to him?
Mr. Bones, please point towards the direction of the closest hot springs.
All right. He gets off the pony as it's riding, which surprisingly goes pretty well. And he starts to walk off the road into the forest.
Oh, he's going. Didn't I ask him to point? He's just going.
I ask him to come back.
Hey, Mr. Bones, come back.
He comes back. He climbs back on the pony.
All right, Mr. Bones, we're just going to ignore that happened. Let's just keep going, I guess.
Though, was the direction he walked off in towards the south?
It was.
All right, so then maybe he does know approximately where it is, and it's just we haven't reached the road that we need to turn onto yet.
Okay.
Because the forest might just be blocking our view of the road. But I think we've only moved, this is 12 miles, and they said it's about 15, so I think we should go at least another 4 miles before we head south.
Sure.
So another hour at least.
All right, let's roll that perception.
We're not trusting the big pile of bones that was created by Twizzard.
It's our best hope.
All right, I would like to roll with advantage on this one just in case.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Paelias
This is the important one.
You and Paelias are.
All right. What was that? That was a 9 plus 7 was a 16.
All right. So you continue riding, and just toward the end of that hour, you notice, there's something a little off about some of the bushes to the south of the road. You notice that maybe the trees that had been getting denser might be a little less dense there, or a little the trees maybe don't look as old.
Like it's an overgrown path.
Yeah, there's definitely something that bears further inspection.
Okay. Yeah, bears.
Mhm.
All right. So, I guess I make this known to the fellow travelers if this is what I am observing. Hey guys, if you look to our south a little bit, the woods look a little less dense there, maybe as if there was a path that's just been overgrown from neglection and...
It's the path! Good work, Mr. Bones!
Well, you can ask Mr. Bones if this is a path he's aware of.
I feel like if I ask him to do anything, he'll just head that way again.
Finn jumps off and starts
Oh,
looking at the
Finn.
ground.
Uh-oh.
Is she licking the ground? Is that what you said?
She's no better than Bones.
Looking. So you guys
What's
are
your
all,
elf eye see?
So anyone who wants to give me an investigation check can.
You're good with investigation.
Oh, but everyone's good. Because I might roll terribly.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20 plus 3,
What
so...
the heck? I got a 17.
Yeah, so Agnes and Finn and Twizzard, you guys do notice that, just so the road you're on, just to set the stage even further, is like packed earth, right? It's not particularly smooth, but it's not too bad either, right? If you had a cart, you'd have a bit of a bumpy ride, but it wouldn't be too bad. And it's probably about 8 to 10 feet wide, depending on where you are. What you now find to the south is basically about a cart's width, so maybe 5-6 feet. While you see some larger trees on either side, on this path, the trees are shorter. It looks like they may have stopped growing because they weren't getting as much sun. The ground is a little more feels a little more packed. There was definitely something here at some point. And Agnes, you said you got over a 20?
Yeah, 20 plus 3, so 23.
You find the sort of like a couple of stacked stones that were hewn to be rectangular in nature. There's 2 stacked on top, and then there's a third on the ground, and you see some faint etchings on them. It definitely seems like there was a path here at one point.
Hey, Finric, can you come over here and check out these hewn stones and see if you can make out what it says? I know that you've got some masonry proficiencies. Maybe you can check out what kind of stone this is, or.
Sure, let's take a look.
Give me an investigation with advantage there, Finric.
Yeah. 11.
I mean, they were definitely stacked up at one point, and there is some writing on the side.
Can I read the writing?
It's very faint. You think there's an S and a P, maybe 2 S's, maybe an F, maybe a T.
This is the way of the hot springs.
Okay.
Well, I'm convinced.
Well, I'm pretty sure that this was just like a street sign, essentially, a road marker. So even if we can't read what's on it, this is probably the road that Colty was referring to. So I think this is a good bet.
Yeah, considering your perception checks earlier, you're fairly certain this has been the only thing that could have been a road that you've seen, over the last 16 miles. So.
All right, maybe we should try to uncover the stone a little bit more so that if we come back this way, it'll be, obviously this road is easier to find, but just make sure.
I can conjure a street sign and put it right in there.
Why don't you, no, that's only going to last an hour. Why don't you prestidigitation it?
Yeah, you can do some weeding. You can do some weeding with prestidigitation.
I could do weeding with fireball.
And that's a spell slot.
Weeding with fireball.
Mr. Bones.
It's a waste of a spell slot.
Mr. Bones, weed this area.
All right, so he starts sticking the point of his spear in, cleaning off the old stone signpost.
You could have just prestidigitation there. Would have been so much faster.
Mr. Bones wants to feel useful.
Are you sure? Have you asked him if that's how he wants to be treated?
He never answers me.
Maybe you can just have him make signs like nod his head or shake his head.
He's working on a sign right now.
No.
Meanwhile, Finn is sort of looking into the forest, and while it's not dense, you would have to make your way slowly if you were riding and duck a lot. It is by no means. The trees have, over the last 100 years or so, have encroached between the new growth and the untrimmed old growth.
I feel like Finestrel is the only one that implies to be the only ones that have to duck, because the rest of us are on smaller creatures. Well, no, my mule is probably a similar size to a horse because it's a mule.
Yeah,
all right.
You could definitely stay mounted, but you would be riding at a slower speed.
Okay. And even if we weren't mounted, we'd still be walking slower. So.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And bring the horses with us, stay mounted, get remounted, whatever.
All right, you guys.
I'll head that direction.
You guys are gonna head south. All right. Yeah, as you move that direction, the trees definitely do close in around you a bit. La, 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 la.
I shout out, "Oh, bridge!"
I mean, it's still daylight. It's still, it's still a bright, or it's the sky is still bright. So let's see, it was 2 p.m. ish when you turned off the trail, and you're probably going about, I don't know, 1 or 2 miles per hour now, and you're heading south. The road, Agnes, are you in the lead, Agnes?
If it's a cart wide, we could probably go side by side, right?
Yeah, you can still go side by side. Sometimes there's a small tree in the way, and you sort of have to go around it. But for the most part,
Okay. Yeah, so I can be near the front then.
give me
I
another.
think that Lily would be closer to me, though.
Fair enough. Give me another perception check for this leg of the journey.
Do I get advantage? Is anyone helping me out here?
Paelias, you helping her?
Backing up.
Okay. 17.
All right. You do notice a few bends in the road, which you call out, mostly because all of a sudden, like, the newer trees are gone, and it's just like big, tall, huge trees. And so you manage to stay pretty much on the path. And you eventually get to what looks like an outcrop of the sort of, again, the older growth, taller trees are now sort of pushed to the sides, and you are in what at one point might have been a clearing. There are some what might be structures located in what are now clumps of smaller, newer trees and shrubs and things like that. But the sky overhead has opened up from the old growth trees a bit. So you've reached some area that is where the road sort of leads to.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe we should check out to make sure that these buildings are definitely abandoned and not filled with something.
Buildings is a generous, more like you see the remains of what might have been stone walls or a fireplace here or there.
Okay. Oh well, this might be Fenton.
Should we I don't know, investigate the buildings and explore a little?
Yeah,
I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Did Colty say they were underground though?
Well, he said the springs were underground, and some of the main portions of the hot springs, like resort. But I'm assuming that there was probably places in which people lived that were just outside. I don't think everyone could live and work underground. They would need to have some kind of fresh air and
I don't know. I could live
way
underground.
well, yes, you could. But many people need to farm in order to get their food. And so maybe this is just, the town that was once here to help with the people who worked the springs. Whereas anyone who visited would have stayed in the resort portion of the hot springs, and that might have been underground.
Yeah, this whole area that you're looking at is, not even the size of a football field. Really, it is. I mean, it's maybe half the size of it. So say I don't know, 50 yards or so by roughly that. And it's not
maybe
an
there's an
exact
entrance somewhere.
It's not an exact square or anything, but yeah, you would. There's a decent amount of space you'd have to sort of investigate.
All right, do we want to split up?
Finn's already sort of looking at one of the closest fireplace remains, trying to discern if she can see the sort of the outer edges of the building that it belonged to. Lily starts looking around.
I'll stick with Lily. I'll stay near where Lily goes.
Okay. Mr. Bones and Twizzard, you guys just spreading out a little?
We'll go over where Sinistral is. Keep an eye on her. Look for clues before she can find him.
Okay.
You're just gonna run in front of her. Oh, excuse me. I think I see something.
Twizzard, I think I can do this on my own.
Oh yes, hi. So if you want to find somewhere else, that's fine.
All right. So you're sticking with her?
Yeah.
Right.
What the? You going to the same place I'm going again?
Like lines.
Why? Look, if you're worried about me, keep your skeleton friend with me.
Okay. I tell Mr. Bones, go with her and constantly try and get in her way.
All right, so she goes off with Mr. Bones, like, jockeying for position.
Oh, I like it.
All right. So you guys all sort of spread out, and let's do perception checks from everyone first.
8.
15.
21.
Right.
15.
All right. All right. So let's see. So yeah. So Finric and Paelias, you guys definitely have you found some definite buildings which had inner walls and rather large fireplaces. So these might have been some sort of dwelling for multiple people, perhaps. Meanwhile, Lily and Agnes, you come to what looks like at one point was the stone and the stone surrounding or outlining the footprint of the building is, compared to some of the others you've seen, it's actually smaller, but it is at a higher quality. And as you're sort of pawing around in the underbrush in the center, you find what looks like the stone mantle of a set of steps, but the brush and the rocks are sort of just like clogging the path downwards.
All right, so
You guys are probably looking around, you're trying to be thorough, you're trying to look at everything, not miss anything. So it's probably been about maybe 30, 45 minutes, even close to an hour when you make this discovery.
So I'm going to Sending Stone and say, come over towards where I am. I think I might have found something.
All right, so Paelias, Twizzard, and Finric start to head towards you in various directions.
And I will ask Mr. Twizzard if he wants to command Mr. Bones to return with Sinistral. Maybe he's, Finistral.
You mean without her? Return without her?
Well, I don't know if he...
Or bring her back?
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to understand that he's doing that, so maybe he should just turn around and start returning.
Mr. Bones, beckon to Sinistral to follow you, and then return to me.
All right, so after a little bit, you see Mr. Bones coming, and Finn looks a little consternated. Follows along behind.
All right,
Mr. Bones.
I think we need to do some heavy lifting here. So let's start making use of our hands and whatever tools we might have on our persons and clear the brush away and maybe some of these stones.
Let's do it.
Do we have magic for this?
What's these?
Sometimes we want, the finer touch.
I don't know.
An unseen servant's not going to work here.
Yeah, he stinks. Mr. Bones, get to work.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have things to blow it up.
I think first we should try our own hands and see how far we get. Then, if we need to use some quote unquote dynamite,
I can make a fog cloud.
I could use a magic missile from my wand. That's
Unarmed
fine.
strike it.
I can't unarmed strike because I do 0 damage.
What are you thinking, John?
I guess we're picking stuff up.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. What's
That's
the question?
Okay. We're gonna do some heavy lifting.
Heavy
Gonna-
lifting. All right. So yeah, just give me some generic strength checks.
Oh, no sweat. Oh my god. Maybe sweat.
15.
Eight.
What does D mean? Oh, disadvantage? Why do I have disadvantage on... Oh, it's stealth. Sorry. It's train.
Uh, 2.
Who? Me?
I could seriously
No,
be
that's
the
me.
strongest one here when I have -1 strength. Come on.
Well, if I knew what my strength was...
Honestly, Agnes,
It's your-
you did not I know your family and stuff, but you did not have the lunch that I had.
Oh, I get +1.
Get off.
I had someone snoring essentially in my ear the whole night.
And
Yeah.
yet you're stronger than I am right now.
You
It's
do
long rest.
you do manage to clean some of it out enough to tell you that yes, this is a staircase of rather finely crafted stone descending in.
I got it.
Ooh, that's it.
But
Someone asked Finestrel if she has any kind of spells that might aid in our clearing out of the path.
me?
Well, I mean, if we can't do it by hand and you have arcane, abilities, I certainly cannot do this with my few arcane spells. Mine are like vicious mockery. I'm gonna vicious mockery the heck out of these stones.
Let's see if I have anything that could help. I'm afraid I don't. How strong is your skeleton friend?
He is quite strong. He's tougher than I am.
Mr. Bones is right there.
Oh, he's over here.
I could,
He has the strength of one man.
I could turn
hero.
one of us into a sort of a gas that could flow through the collapsed stone and see how deep it goes, or I could do that myself, of course.
Hey, Paelias.
Yep.
But if you don't know how thick this is, you probably couldn't get a familiar down there.
Well,
I mean, are there nooks and crannies that we can send a small pseudo dragon down there, or is the pseudo dragon too big?
Pseudo dragon.
Maybe a
it's
chameleon.
like the size of a cat. It would be. It might be possible. It'd be pretty tight.
my dragon's the size of a cat?
Yeah,
It's a pseudo dragon.
the pseudo dragon.
Yeah. But it's the size of a cat?
It's not a real dragon.
Damn it.
And it's
I
tiny.
mean, it's like a medium-sized cat. It's not like, it's bigger.
But it flies, right?
It's not a kitten.
It flies.
But it's not a
yeah,
Maine
it flies.
Alright, well, it flies.
Definitely flies.
Coon.
Did no one buy any small buns? I didn't. I meant to. I didn't.
Dragon. It's not
I think I bought a big dog.
But even if you had small buns,
Not small enough.
it only reduces you to half your size,
Yeah, halves in every dimension.
which is not enough. You'd have to be a tiny little thing in the first place.
Well, let's do this gas thing. That sounds fun.
Claes wants to be the gas.
I'll be the gas. I don't care.
Need the gas? Okay.
Yeah, gas me up.
Nobody breathe.
All right, it might be a little startling. And
Well-
she touches you, and you feel
Water.
everything you're wearing and carrying. You feel yourself sort of
Cheese.
dissipate, and you turn into this gaseous form. And you know.
And then I
the
guess.
target's only method of movement is a flying speed of 10 feet. You can enter and occupy the space of another creature. You have resistance to non-magical damage. You can pass through small holes, narrow openings, and even mere cracks. There you go.
All right, let's go through the crack.
So you pass
Yeah,
through.
a crack.
You pass through this. Yeah, you pass through these cracks, and you go, and it's about probably another foot of this debris. It's not that far actually, and looking at the surrounding walls in your gaseous form, you perceive that they are still intact. So it is fairly obvious that this cave-in was really not a cave-in, and just someone blocking this tunnel to make it look like it had caved in.
So I communicate all that to my Sanding Stone peeps.
Well, I don't know if that's going to work in gaseous form. You could go back up through it, though. Or you can stay on this side and reconvene into yourself.
Yeah, let's reconvene over here. Is there enough air? Can I discern if there's air for me?
Yes, there's air. It is damp and musty air.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, so you come back into the Paelias form, and you're on the other side of this about 1 foot barrier of rocks and debris.
All right. So I'll send you all that information out.
All right. You all know this now.
Right. What are we gonna do now?
Hey, Paelias, don't go in without us.
What?
Don't jump in the water without us.
You have dark vision, right, Paelias, I believe?
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, you want me to try to clear from this side?
Yeah, can you? Does it seem like there's a keystone or something that might get everything loose?
Does there?
I don't know. Can we investigate, or can he investigate it from his side?
You can give me an investigation check.
I feel like the person with the masonry tool should have gone down there.
Well,
Classic.
still can, right?
My investigation check is 2.
Cool.
Yeah, it just looks like some packed in rocks and debris.
Looks like some packed in rocks and debris, guys.
All right.
Finestrel is investigating it, and she's like, I think, and she takes her staff and sort of hits this one larger rock that's a little bit off to the left of center. And Paelias, you notice on your side a sort of sizable chunk fall in and a bunch of dust.
Sure.
And yeah, even with your dark vision, it's
Careful where you keep that staff. Don't cause a cave-in.
Was it working? Cause a cave-in, you say? And she hits it again.
Yeah.
And another chunk falls, and then sort of rapid fire, the whole thing starts to. Give me a dex save, Paelias.
Uh-oh. Turn me on gas again. Well, that's pretty good. For what? Dexterity?
Yeah, dexterity save.
+0. 19.
Oh.
Oh yeah. You using your elf reflexes and your dark vision, you jump out of the way a little further down the stairs as most of this stuff that was blocking it sort of rolls and tumbles down this staircase, which descends into the darkness. And yeah, the stairs are clear enough to walk down.
Oh yeah.
Why do I need to be gassed for this?
That worked. As I thought it would.
Woo.
All right, let's go to this hot springs.
So did we bring any towels? I don't think I remember to bring a towel.
You can conjure anything you want.
Don't you have a rug?
I can't take off the rug. Use my beard.
Can you prestidigitation something dry?
Will it be fluffy?
Finestel starts
you
to
can
head
use
down
that.
the stairs.
I can just stand and cast Gust on myself.
Is the bag of holding fluffy?
Is the bag of holding
Fluffy?
fluffy?
Yeah.
No.
Can it be used as a towel?
No, it's like a leather bag with a mouth motif on it.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Finestel heads
Might be
downstairs, passes Paelias, and sort of continues on.
I follow.
All right.
Yeah, we're keeping up.
And Agnes, you do or do not have dark vision?
I do.
Okay. So yeah, you can.
I'm half elf.
Paelias is going down. I believe
Lily
Finric-
doesn't,
Yeah, Lily
I
and
don't.
Finric do not.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, anyone want to cantrip me up the light?
I cast light on Mr. Bones, and I say, Mr. Bones, do whatever Finric
it
asks.
has to be his armor.
On Mr. Bones' armor.
What color is it?
What color you want, Finric?
Oh man, blue.
All right. So
It's blue.
a bright blue glow emanates from Mr. Bones as you all proceed down the stairs.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Glossy paper? What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Crazy. So you guys come down. Finn is still in the lead. And there are strange outcroppings of glowing lichen that are situated here. This map isn't exactly what it looks like, so I'll make some caveats here. But you do see there is some sort of structure here. This fire is not lit, but there are some stone tubs and things. But when you investigate that, I'll tell you. But it's not quite. I'm sort of modifying this map for my purposes. Yeah, so as you get to the bottom of the stairs, it turns back into some basically natural this was a natural cavern, rock formation. There are some, humanoid formed walls over here that go floor to ceiling, made of hewn stone. It sort of demarcates a little bit of a building there. And you also notice that as you step off the last step, you're in about 2 to 3 inches of water.
Ooh.
Is it warm water?
No, it is. The air temperature down here, it's about 60, 65 degrees.
Celsius or
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit?
Dwarfen height. Wow. We've been lied to. These aren't
Yeah.
hot springs, they're lukewarm.
The glowing lichen as you step into this water, and it ripples away. There's sort of casting odd reflections, and the glowing blue armor of Mr. Bones as he enters sort of adds to this sort of cool green to the bright blue, married with the sort of rippling water as you move through it. It's very eerie. You hear dripping sounds sort of echoing through the cavern. Yeah.
Can we go into the humanoid-looking structure?
Yes, you absolutely can. There's a couple steps up, so you're now out of the water. Oh, by the way, there's a bit of a lip over here. You do see some sort of large holes in the cavern, and the water. Some due to the varieties in height in the cavern floor, it's not all just disappearing down there. But that might have something to do why there's only 2 to 3 inches in this area. So Agnes, as you enter, there do seem to be over here. There are some tubs, sort of stone tubs. There's a table with some stone chairs. There's not a rug, but there are various stone shelving units. Everything's pretty much made of stone down here, and there's a layer of as you run your finger along it. There's definitely a layer of dust, but also some of the lichen that doesn't glow has started to grow on most of the surfaces. Definitely a place that has not been visited in a long time.
Can I remove some of the growing, non-glowing lichen from the surfaces to see if there's anything lying underneath it?
Yeah, you can. It's just stone. In fact, the shelving, there's sort of, slots, if you would, sort of like little cubbies, stone cubbies. Yeah. And this is sort of a side entrance, and there's a sort of a wider entrance here.
Can I take a closer look at the tubs?
Yeah, they're about 6 feet by maybe 2.5, 3 feet wide stone tubs, and there are some smaller stone tables near each one.
All right, none of them look like they have any kind of interesting carvings, like.
No, not that you can see.
Okay. All right. So then this just looks like it could be part of a bathhouse. All right, I will relay what I have found to my fellow adventurers. And maybe I'll leave out the main or the bigger entrance.
Okay. Yeah, this cavern is very large. It stretches out in front of you. You can see some more large pits. The water depth again sort of varies depending on the. You feel like if you had to battle in this terrain, well, with the uneven flooring and the water, it might be hard to battle in this terrain.
Is that foreshadowing?
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying it's uneven terrain, maybe half movement at max type of thing.
I think we heard what you're saying.
Let's press the trap on whatever is gonna release the Kraken here.
Oh boy. I just wanted to bathe in hot water.
Where would you folks like to go?
To the springs.
Go to that ledge at the top and check that out.
Sort of over here.
I'm thinking, like in the room more and then up. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
I just want to look around.
Yeah, it's sort of like this is sort of like a crack in the earth, and as you do sort of peer over it, you do feel warmer air coming up from that crack.
Cool.
Warm.
The crack itself is maybe a little 5-6 feet wide. There's definitely more mushrooms and lichen and more pooled water over here as well.
Do I recognize any of the mushrooms?
Give me a nature check.
Mushroom!
4.
No.
You do not. Does anyone else want to give a nature check?
I'll take a look. I have +3 to mushroom identification.
Sure.
11. Yeah.
11?
Yes.
Let's see.
They're mushrooms.
They're
Okay.
Was it mycology?
No, I hate mushrooms.
Know your enemy, Erin.
No, you don't really. It doesn't really ring a bell.
They look like
You
mushrooms.
feel like you might have seen mushrooms like this before, but not 100% sure.
Alright.
Lily is sticking with Mr. Bones, who's sticking with Finric.
I mean, how is that glowing lichen? Is that kind of giving off enough light that they could see?
No, it's more like It's more like a cool LED. It's like you can see it, but it doesn't really shed that much light.
It's ambient lighting.
Yeah, it's some ambient mood lighting.
Mood lighting.
Mainly because it was drawn on the map.
like disco trunk.
Yeah, sure. Finestel looks over, picks up some mushrooms, and starts eating them.
Ugh. I don't know if I eat those. I vaguely recognize them.
Oh, you probably recognize them because they're delicious.
Yeah. Okay. I knew that too.
Would they help with Finric's sour stomach?
Absolutely.
Will you have one with me?
Sure. She takes another bite and tosses you one across the pit. It tastes
Excellent.
a bit bitter with a sort of nutty flavor.
Nutty.
Excellent. All right. Well, I mean, you guys can explore. Maybe I'm just gonna like pick some mushrooms.
Okay.
I guess I'll explore too.
No, that's fine. Take the mushrooms. I replace all the muesli someone ate.
I'll get some mushrooms on the way out.
Right, so you
The
guys-
dark spots are all the spots that are deeper down.
yeah, the dark spots are all the deeper down spots. Yep.
So, is there a place where the dark spots look like there's a little bit of a decline?
Yes.
Less shallow.
There's a noticeable. The ground is sloping down the more you walk that way.
All right. Does the water seem to be getting deeper as we head that way?
Not especially because there are so many holes that it can sort of drain into.
Okay.
But
So I'll start walking that way.
yeah, anyone who gets near to one of those deep pits also feels sort of hot air coming up from it.
So we would know, even if we couldn't see, that we're approaching an edge.
And you can see here there was some sort of bridge built at one time, and there's almost a path leading from the larger entrance here across there.
All right. I'll cross it.
Yeah, let's go across.
Finn has sort of come from the other side after having eaten some more mushrooms. Are you still bringing up the rear class?
Sure.
Okay.
Is the water any warmer that's nearby?
Maybe a little.
Okay. All right.
Finn,
All right.
Finn is still in the lead. Anyone else want to be? What's the order we're walking in here?
I'll go up behind her.
All right.
He wants to be the first to see her dip into the hot springs.
What?
Please don't push her into the hot springs. Cool. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I mean, between the lichen and the sort of, there's definitely a mildewy smell. Water. The ground is fairly slippery. There are sort of large pits everywhere. So you're definitely taking your time as you move around this area.
Cool.
Some of the mushrooms are gigantic.
I steer clear of those.
You might be able to bounce on them, which then get you onto a ledge above them.
And spores all over the place.
Well, I could.
I don't want to inhale any of that.
I grab a gigantic one and put it into the bag of holding.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. As you grab the giant mushroom, it indeed does release a bunch of spores. Give me a Constitution save, Finric.
Purple. Oh, Fenric.
21.
All right.
Oh.
You sort of realize what it's doing, and you like toss it to the side, and you're and you suffer no ill effects. And Finn just looks at you and smirks, and gives a little laugh.
Yeah, me and my mushrooms.
As you proceed a little further in, Twizzard and Agnes, can you give me perception checks, please?
Ooh! Yeah, he got a natural 20, but I got 24.
My best roll all night.
You guys definitely notice it does continue to slope down, and you notice that coming up, the sort of the cavern wall in front of you is it still looks natural, but there is some oddness to it. It doesn't look quite right to you.
The wall doesn't quite look right?
Yeah, the wall of the cavern doesn't look quite right.
Can I use my my glass?
You
My
can.
little glass. I'm gonna look through it.
All right.
What's that?
So this is the one that shows traps.
Or just magic. Yeah, magic booby trap.
It highlights things. So you do, as you look through it, you see it basically outlining this rectangular passage, and it cracks.
Okay.
So you can now
guys.
see the extent of this doorway, and you also know that it probably is trapped.
All right. So I'm going to let people know about that. That the doorway is definitely magical and booby trap.
Cool. Well, Mr. Bones is magical, so can we send him?
And he's a booby.
It might kill him.
Well, last time it set the whole entire upper floor on fire, and we all escaped by the skin of our nose. So
Can we throw a rock at it?
I don't know. Maybe we can ask Finestrel if she can detect magic as well, or if she knows what this might be.
Don't we have that magic spyglass?
Yes, that's how I figured out
That's
that
how
it
she
was
just
magic.
figured it out.
And booby trap.
That's all it told us.
Well, you have a brass spyglass from the pirate ship, but that's just the normal spyglass. What Agnes used was the magical item. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would tell us more than just it's magic.
I think you should just try to open it.
Yeah. After you.
And she knows that I told her that it is booby trapped, right?
Yes.
And you think it's wise to open it?
Could be fun.
She knows
For the
what's
person
behind it.
who's opening it, why don't you open it? Sounds like you want to have some fun.
She knows something.
I'm fine.
Yeah, well, we're fine too, which means we're not going to get any further until we figure out what to do. I'll tell you, last time, it was a big, gigantic fireball that engulfed an upper floor of a building. So,
Well, that certainly sounds interesting.
yes.
I thought you were adventurers.
Well, yes, but we are also...
We want to continue to be adventurous.
Yeah. Let's see here. Is there anything that I can do?
Go on, Twizzard. You're brave. Open the door.
Well, I am very brave.
I'm gonna cast a spell on Finestrel.
Ooh.
I'm gonna cast command on her.
Okay.
And I'm gonna it's gonna be speak, as in speak the truth. Or truth, maybe truth is better. Truth.
So you're gonna command with the word truth.
Yeah, truth.
Oh no.
All right.
Why not open?
We don't care about the short term here. So there's something just holding back.
What's the save on that?
Wisdom 13.
13.
Yeah.
So so you guys have been down here, looking around. You know, you're going slow. Fairly large place. I'd say probably maybe 45 minutes to an hour. You speak the word. You sort of turn toward Finestrel, and you say in your commanding voice, "Truth." And you feel Mistress power flow through you, and you feel it take effect on Finestel. And Finestel turns towards you and smiles wickedly as her body begins to transform in front of you. And as her body transforms, it grows larger and larger into this blue-skinned, white flowing hair, hulking beast. And as that happens, you look to her, you look at everyone else, and you look over to your right, and you see Finestel run up. And that's where we'll end session for tonight.
Oh!
He runs up where?
So what we're looking at is not the real Finestrel, was someone who was mimicking her.
Yes.
And the real Finestrel is
the
now...
real Finestrel runs up with this look of horror on her face as this rather large beast materializes right next to Twizzard. And that is where we'll pick up next Friday. All right.
I don't want to see her attitude anymore.
What's that?
When she turned into that, I was like, oh, I don't care about seeing her in a bathing suit anymore.
It's so blue now.
Yeah. No, it's
Big
basically this hulking, like, blue ogreish character.
Is it still female?
No. No, it does not appear to be female anymore.
No.
Sort of.
And we know that because it has a large member. Like what's?
Sort of looks a lot like this.
Ooh, with a little jacket too.
That does not look female.
No.
What did she roll? What did you roll for her?
What's that?
What did you roll for her?
What did I roll for?
Yeah.
What do
To
you
not say.
Well, less than a 13.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. Your command did work, and basically it showed its true self as a result.
Truth. Good
She
word.
knew to say it without blowing up
Love
her
it.
plan.
All right, thank you very much for playing, folks. Thank you for watching, and we'll see what happens next Friday on another episode of BND. See you, everyone.